Hello, class. I hope you're doing okay, and I hope you have a very good day. And ngayon is itatackle or i-discuss natin yung about sustainable development goals. So I know some of you very familiar na kayo dito kasi na-discuss na to sa isang event sa school natin, specifically Psych Week. So before I start, let me share to you yung learning objectives. So, learning objective number one, the students should be able to identify the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and their significance in addressing global challenges. And just learning objective number two is the students should be able to appreciate diverse perspectives and the importance of inclusive practices in achieving SDGs. And last learning objective is the students should be able to reflect on their learning experiences and evaluate their contributions to sustainable development. Okay, so before ko ipakita yung unang-unang tawag nito, unang-unang goal, let me give you an overview what are the sustainable development goals. So yung sustainable development goals or tinatawag na global goals is adopted by United Nations noong 2015 bilang universal call para makagawa tayo ng aksyon how to end poverty, how to protect our environment or our planet, and also bigyan natin ng guarantee na by 2020, 2030, I mean, yung buhay natin, all people will enjoy peace and prosperity. Wow, pang Miss Universe. So, yung 17 SDGs are combined para ma-recognize na yung action sa isang area is magkakaroon ng positive outcome or positive results sa iba. And yung development, kailangan balance siya sa social, economic, and environmental stability. So yung iba't ibang bansa, nagkaroon sila ng commitment na i-prioritize yung progress para dun sa mga taong vulnerable, marginalized, or underprivileged. Yung hindi makuha yung what they deserve. So yung SDGs, they are designed para yun nga ma-end yung poverty, hunger, AIDS, and discrimination sa women and girls. Okay? So, unang-una nating goal is no poverty. So, we have to end poverty in all its forms everywhere. So, kapag na-eradicate at naalis, napuksa ang extreme poverty sa lahat ng tao sa buong mundo by 2030, I think na tawag nito, magiging sustainable, magiging peaceful and marangya yung buhay ng mga tao. Hindi man marangya, siguro they will be in a very comfortable situation. Sino ba namang may gustong naghihirap, 'di ba? Bakit nga ba na merong poverty, too much poverty or extreme? Marami kasing dimensions ang poverty, and that includes unemployment, social exclusion, yung napakataas na vulnerability ng iba't ibang population sa disaster, sakit, and other phenomena na pwedeng mag-prevent sa isang tao na maging productive. So, kunwari may sakit ka, may sakit ang isang tao, tuberculosis, di na siya makakatrabaho kasi 'di ba kapag nag-apply ka ng trabaho, you must be physically and mentally fit para maging effective kang empleyado. Okay? So, what's in it for me? para or in us to care about other people's economic situation. So, maraming reason, pero in short, dahil nga bilang isang tao, yung well-being natin is connected to each other. So, yung lumalaking inequality is harming social, tawag nito, I mean, is harming the economic growth and also harming social cohesiveness. So, when we say cohesiveness, unity, and also nag increase siya ng political and social tensions. And sa ibang circumstances, ibang pangyayari is nagkakaroon ng instability and conflicts. So yun yung effect ng growing inequality. So bakit ang social protection is important? So ang pagkakaroon ng strong social protection system sa mga taong nakakaranas ng extreme poverty is very essential para ma-mitigate yung effects and ma-prevent yung maraming tao from falling into poverty. Okay? So, kailangan, i-base na lang natin dito sa Philippines, kailangan ma-implement yung nationally appropriate na sustainable and universal social protection systems para sa lahat. I think naman, ang Philippines is merong social protection, pero hindi ganun ka strong. So sana nga ma-enhance pa, ma-improve pa ng Philippine government yung social protection, lalong-lalo na sa mga taong vulnerable or nakakaranas ng extreme poverty. So what can I do about it? Assignment niyan. Okay? Next we have zero hunger, SDG number 2, wherein ito, providing food and humanitarian relief and establishing sustainable food production. So, ang goal number 2 is about creating a world free of hunger by 2030. Meron kasi tayong global issue of hunger and food insecurity na very alarming since 2015. And yun yung iba't ibang combination, naging trend na siya, including yung pandemic, yung conflict, climate change, and also yung ng growing and deepening inequalities, hindi pagkakaintindihan ng government. So, yung extreme hunger and malnutrition still remains na barrier or hadlang sa sustainable development and nagki-create ng trap doon sa mga taong hindi makaalis, nai-stuck na sila sa ganong pamumuhay. So kapag merong hunger and malnutrition, it means nagiging less productive individuals tayo. Bakit? Kasi wala tayong energy. And yung mga prone sa diseases and yung unable na hindi maka-generate ng more and improve livelihoods, kawawa naman sila, 'di ba? So ilan nga ba ang mga taong nagugutom? So projected is merong more than 600 million people sa buong mundo ang makakaranas ng hunger by 2030. So hina-highlight din nito yung challenge na ma-achieve yung zero hunger target. Isipin nyo, ang goal ni SDG is wala nang magugutom by 2030. Pero malabo. Kasi 600 million mahigit ang projected na gutom pa or makakaranas ng hunger, famine by 2030. So, yung mga taong nakakaranas ng food insecurity, sila yung hindi nakakakain ng healthy, balanced diet in a regular basis kasi nga yung income and other barriers or hadlang sa resources. Bakit nga ba ang daming nagugutom na tao? So, shockingly, the world is back at hunger levels na hindi nakita noong 2005. And yung mga food prices kasi masyadong mahal. And along with the conflict, yung mga climate shocks, yung tumataas na cost of living, yung civil insecurity, and also yung pag-decline ng food production. Isa yun sa mga dahilan kung bakit maraming nagugutom na mga tao. So I think investment in the agricultural sector is kailangan ma-implement para mabawasan yung hunger and poverty. So by improving food security and creating employment is a better way para masolusyonan kahit papaano or mabawasan yung hunger sa mundo. Okay. Next, we have SDG number 3. So, we belong as psychology majors, we belong in this goal. So, sa SDG 3, it says here, better, more accessible health systems to increase life expectancy. So, kailangan mag-guarantee natin na meron tayong healthy lives and promote well-being for all and at all ages. So, according to United Nations, meron ng great improvement pagdating sa health ng mga tao in the recent years or sa past years. Pero, dahil nga meron ng inequalities or misunderstanding sa healthcare access, is hindi maibigay ng maayos yung good health and well-being na nararapat sa mga tao. So, yung mga vaccination sa mga bata, hindi na nila nare-receive yung full support kasi nga nagkakaroon ng decline sa supply ng gamot, and also nag increase yung death rate ng mga taong nagkakasakit ng tuberculosis and malaria dahil nga sa inequalities or lack of resources or access sa healthcare. So, kailangan para ma-overcome natin yung ganitong issues is kailangan nating i-address yung long-standing healthcare shortcomings. And kailangan mag-i-increase tayo ng investment sa health systems na kailangan i-support ng iba't ibang countries para sa recovery and ma-build natin yung resilience against future health threats. So, kailangan din na mag-conduct ng mga researches about well-being and good health para yung mga scientists, lalo na pag na-publish yung research, is karoon sila ng awareness na, nangyayari pala to sa Philippines. So, gawa tayo ng intervention kung paano natin matutulungan yung mga taong to, and it will help minimize yung issue. Ganon. And also, as a psychology student or a psychology major, kailangan ma-integrate ang tawag nito, ang SDG number 3 sa curriculum ng UCU or UCU specifically sa psychology department, wherein para dumami ang psychometricians, psychologists sa Philippines, kailangan ma-enhance yung education, mapaintindi sa mga students and also sa mga professionals yung about SDG number 3. So, paano nga ba tayo magiging psychometricians if you are demotivated to take the board exam? So, isa dyan is yung testimonial. Noong una, I'm not interested with the testimonial honestly kasi hindi ko nga alam. But later on, nung nabasa ko yung memorandum ng CHED, okay, so meron siyang impact. Mamomotivate ka. It will not, hindi lang motivation ang mabibigay niya, kundi magkakaroon ka ng realizations na, oo nga no, if narinig ko yung testimonial ng mga board passers, mabibuild ko yung self-confidence ko, magkakaroon ako ng personal growth, ganyan. So, hindi naman din masama na umattend ng mga testimonials. Though hindi kasi ako mahilig sa ganyan, sa mga socializations kasi I'm an introvert. Pero kailangan kasi it is mandated by CHED. So, gustuhin man natin or hindi, kailangan nating umattend. And I've been in your shoes before as a student na maraming babayarin. I understand that. I-open ko lang ha. Pero kasi, wala tayong magagawa. We have to comply kasi yun ang sinabi ng school. Yun ang sinabi ng CHED. So, anong gagawin mo para pumasa ka or para graduate ka since it's a requirement. Kailangan mong sumunod. Okay, you are very lucky. Some of you are very lucky kasi pinapaaral kayo. E paano naman ako nung times na nag-aaral ako, um, self-support ako sa pag-aaral ko. Maliit pa yung 750. We have to pay 6,000 pesos for our board review. Wala akong nagawa, kundi I have to pay 6,000 pesos kasi requirement siya or else hindi ako gagraduate. And it has benefited me naman yung pag-attend doon sa 6,000 pesos. And wala naman akong regrets. Basta ang goal ko kasi makagraduate ako. Yan. So, continue. We need to have access sa essential health services. And also, paano nga natin maa-achieve ang targets na to? We have to ensure that our lives, the healthy lives of the people, meron dapat strong commitment and dapat na-outweigh pa rin yung cost. So, healthy people are the foundation for healthy economies. Siyempre, kung hindi ka healthy, paano ka magiging productive, diba? So, kailangan ang Philippines, i-base ko na ulit dito ha, magkaroon ng urgency na gumawa ng action and ma-predict yung counteract ng health challenges. So, do you think everyone have access to healthcare? I don't think so. Kasi 'di ba, dito pa nga lang sa Pilipinas, kagaya ng kasagsagan ng COVID-19 pandemic, kailangan ganito ang batch na dumarating. Hindi continuous na puputol-putol. So, what can I do to help? What can you do nga ba to help? Assignment niyo yan. Okay, next is quality education. So, sinasabi lang dyan sa quality education na inclusive education to enable upward social mobility and end poverty. Talagang nakasentro dun, no? End poverty. So, ang aim lang dito ni United Nations is kailangan madagdagan pa yung free education or wow, napaka-Dr. Orata, free education for all, especially sa primary, secondary schooling for all boys and girls by 2030. Siguro kailangan din tertiary, UCU, ganyan. And kailangan magkaroon ng equal access to affordable vocational training para ma-eliminate yung gender and wealth disparities. What is disparities? Disparities is inequalities or gaps sa gender and wealth. And also ma-achieve yung universal access sa quality higher education. Quality higher education. So, education is the key na mag-aalaw sa ibang SDGs para ma-achieve. Siyempre, kung hindi ka naman knowledgeable, bakit mo gagawin yung SDG, di ba? So, when people are able to get quality education, malaki ang magiging ambag nila para mapuksa ang poverty and matupad ang SDGs. Okay, so next is the gender equality. So, gender equality, it only says that education, regardless of gender, and advancement of equality laws, fairer representation of women. So, sa gender equality, kikita nyo dyan, member of the LGBT community, kailangan ma-achieve yung gender equality and empower sa lahat ng babae. Hindi lang siguro sa babae, no? Kailangan sa lahat. So, gender equality, we are aware na it is not a fundamental human right, but it is a needed or necessary foundation para magkaroon ng peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable world. So, it's 2024, marami pa rin akong nababasa na tawag nito, hindi nila tanggap ang LGBT sa community. And take note, women and girls represent half of the world's population. So, ang laki ng nasasakop niya. Kailangan, we have to respect yung boys, I mean girls, hindi lang girls, kung ano yung napiling sexual orientation ng isang tao, we have to respect each other. So, regardless of where you live in, napaka-importante and gender equality is a human right. And it is very important sa lahat ng areas ng society para maging healthy, ma-reduce yung poverty, ma-promote yung health, education, and protection, especially sa well-being ng boys and girls, men and women. Okay, so what can you do? So kung babae ka, you can stay in school, you can help empower yung female classmates para gawin yung same na empowerment and fight for your right para sa access ng sexual and reproductive health services. So if you are a woman, you can address unconscious biases. Ano yung mga unconscious biases? Unconscious biases is yung gender bias, name bias, yung tinatawanan yung pangalan, ganyan. Ano ito? Ah, halo, beauty bias and confirmation bias, yung mga yun. And kung lalaki ka naman, kailangan mong, you can work alongside sa mga women and girls para ma-achieve yung gender equality, para ma-embrace yung healthy and respectful relationship. Kasi nga hindi lang, ako naniniwala ako na hindi lang babae ang kailangan bigyan ng tawag nito, respeto. Kailangan lahat, kailangan pantay, kaya nga gender equality. Okay? Next is clean water and sanitation. This is very self-explanatory. Pero ang sinasabi ni United Nations is kailangan ma-ensure natin na yung access ng water and sanitation is magkakaroon ng benefit sa lahat. It is by improving access of billions of people who lack these basic facilities. Sino ba ang naglalak ng tubig? Yung mga nasa squatter area, yung mga nasa poverty. So access to safe water, sanitation, and hygiene is isa sa basic human need for health and well-being. Remember, 70% ng, I'm not sure, 70% ba? I think 70% or 60, I don't know, ang percentage ng body water sa atin. So, kung wala tayong clean water, paano magpa-function yung katawan natin? It will really affect yung health and well-being ng isang tao. Siyempre, pag nagkasakit ka, maapektuhan ka din mentally. So, you know what I mean. Mhm. Next, we have the affordable and clean energy. Affordable and clean energy. Ang taas-taas na ng kuryente ngayon. Okay, so we have to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy. So sinasabi lang ng SDG 7 na kailangan natin ng access to clean and affordable energy, which is yun yung isa sa susi ng development ng agriculture, business, communication, education, healthcare, and transportation. Ang laki kasi ng ano 'no, ang laki ng ambag ng energy sa lahat ng bagay. Siyempre kung walang energy, walang kuryente, paano mo mapapabilis yung trabaho? So, ang energy is malaki ang magiging tulong niya para ma-end ang poverty, ma-end ang hunger, kasi ma-e-end ang hunger dahil magkakaroon tayo ng high food production. Okay, magkakaroon din tayo ng quality education because of energy dahil pwede tayong gumamit ng technology. And also, malaki ang ambag ng energy sa healthcare para makapag-produce ng medicines and so on and so forth. Okay, so kung wala kasi tayong access, 'di ba? Hindi tayo magkakaroon tayo ng slow progress. Hindi natin maa-achieve by 2030 yung mga SDG goals na to kung walang kuryente na affordable at malinis. When we say kasi clean energy, tawag nito, mm, yun yung, excuse me, renewable. So, hindi siya nag-i-emit ng nakaka-damage sa environment. Yun yung clean energy. So, next we have decent work and economic growth. So, when we say decent work, kailangan meron kang maayos na trabaho. We have to promote inclusive and sustainable economic growth, employment, and also decent work for all. So, sinasabi lang nito is magkakaroon tayo ng decent work is making opportunities for everyone na magkatrabaho, na productive, and nagbibigay ng fair income. And also, hindi lang fair income ha, security sa workplace, social protection sa family ng employee, and also better prospects para sa personal development and social integration. So, kung wala kasing decent work opportunities, wala ding merong insufficient investments and underconsumption, magkakaroon ng erosion. Ano na to? Parang mabura, maalis yung basic social contract na nag-underlie sa democratic society. So, kailangan mag-share in progress. Okay? And we are aware na dito sa Philippines, ang dami-dami pa ring unemployed. Kahit nasa post-pandemic era na tayo, marami pa ring unemployed. Kasi nga nakaka-affect ang poverty, lack of resources, and so on and so forth. Okay, so next we have the number 9 SDG, which is the industry, innovation, and infrastructure, wherein we have to generate employment and income through innovation, build resilient infrastructure, ma-promote yung sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. So, kailangan magkaroon tayo ng investment sa infrastructure. Example, transport, irrigation, energy, and information and communication technology. So, importante itong mga to para ma-achieve natin yung sustainable development and ma-empower yung mga communities sa iba't ibang bansa. So, para ma-achieve ito, kailangan merong support ng local government. Mag-invest tayo sa mga technologies, advanced technologies. Kailangan mapababa natin yung carbon emission and also magkaroon ng increase sa mobile broadband access. Okay? Next, we have the SDG number 10, which is reduce inequalities. Bawasan natin yung miscommunication. So, reducing, hindi ko mabasa. Reducing income, ano to? Wait lang hindi ko mabasa. Reducing income and other inequalities within and between countries. So, paano natin siya gagawin? Inequality kasi, tinethreat niya yung long-term social and economic development na nakaka-harm sa poverty reduction and nagdi-destroy sa sense of fulfillment and self-worth ng isang tao. So, isa dito yung pandemic na nagkaroon ng largest rise sa iba't ibang bansa in 3 or 4 years na nangyari yung pandemic. So, paano ba natin gagawin na ma-reduce yung inequalities? So, this is based on, inequalities is based on income, age, sex, disability, sexual orientation, race, ethnicity, religion, and yung opportunity natin na magtuloy sa mundo, continue to persist sa mundo. So na yun nga, sabi ko nga kanina, may threat ang inequality sa long-term social and economic development. So ano ba nga ba yung mga examples ng inequality para may idea kayo what is inequality? So women and children na walang access sa healthcare, maraming namamatay doon sa mga, kunyari, measles, na ano naman nape-prevent naman ang measles, pero nga kasi, due to lack of access sa healthcare, namamatay sila. Ganon din yung mga matatanda, nagkakaroon sila ng lack of opportunities, nakakakuha sila ng discrimination. Discrimination sa trabaho, porket ba um, disabled sila or meron silang special needs is hindi mo na sila tatanggapin. So, dahil nga hindi makapagtrabaho ang taong may special needs, it will lead to poverty. Lalo na kung yung nanay is matanda na, dalawa lang sila, ganyan. Paano magtatrabaho yung nanay? Na-discriminate na siya as matanda ka na, hindi mo na kayang magtrabaho. Mga ganun. So, sana nga maalis yung mga ganito, discrimination, lalong-lalo na sa age. And, next we have the sustainable cities and communities. So sa SDG 11, sinasabi lang dito na making cities safe, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable. So Goal 11 is about making cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. So yung mga cities, it represents future of global living, urbanization. Okay, so nagkaroon naman ng good progress sa implementation ng SDG 11 noong 2015. And marami na rin sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo ang na-double yung na-double yung progress nila when it comes to sustainable cities and communities, which is a good thing kasi pwedeng makatulong to eradicate or to end poverty and other issues na kinakaharap ng mundo natin. Next, we have SDG number 12, which is responsible consumption and production. Responsible consumption, napakadali lang yan. Kailangan kung ano lang kaya mong kainin, yun lang ang kunin mo. Sa, sa birthday, attend ka ng party, ganyan. Alam mo yung takaw tingin, and then, hindi na nauubos. Siyempre, kapag ka merong, hindi mo nauubos, sayang naman, isipin mo naman yung mga taong hindi nakakakain. And also, kung ano lang dapat ang pangangailangan ng mundo, yun lang din dapat yung production. Okay? So, food waste is another sign of overconsumption. And, kailangan mabago natin kung paano tayo nagko-consume ng pagkain. Kasi pag hindi, mabilis na uubos ang supply. For example, tapon ka ng tapon ng pagkain, naluto mo na, anong gagawin mo? Bibili ka ulit. Tapos nagkakaroon ng shortage sa supply sa market na hindi na rin nakukuha ng ibang tao. It's a domino effect. Okay, so ano yung mga kailangan nating baguhin? So, in a very simple change, yung aspect of consumption. Kasi nga, nagkakaroon siya ng big impact sa society as a whole. Okay? Next, we have climate action. Climate action. Madali lang siyang intindihin, regulating and reducing emission and promoting renewable energy. So, ang sinasabi lang nito is, nagkakaroon kasi tayo ng climate change, di ba? Ano ng buwan ngayon? Bare months na pero may mga bagyo pa rin na malalakas. It only reflects na napapabayaan natin yung environment natin. So, what are we going to do as a psych student? So, kailangan din nating um, tumulong sa climate action. Magtanim tayo ng puno, huwag tayo magpuputol ng puno, huwag tayo magsusunog ng basura kasi nagkakaroon siya ng greenhouse effect that will affect our atmosphere. Yun. Also, syempre, ang tawag nito, um, 3 R's, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Can you imagine, nagko-connect-connect lahat? Yan. So, alam nyo na yan, this is very self-explanatory climate action. Sumama kayo sa mga tree planting activities. So, mas maraming puno, mas lesser ang risk sa baha, ganyan. Lalong-lalo na ang Sierra Madre, help tayo sa promotion na alagaan ang Sierra Madre. Okay? Next is life below water. So, life below water conservation, promoting marine diversity and regulating fishing practices. So, we have to conserve and sustain the use of our oceans, seas, and marine resources. So, pagkakaroon kasi ng healthy ocean and seas are essential to human existence and life on Earth. Siyempre, kung healthy yung oceans natin, magkakaroon tayo ng marine resources, makakakain tayo. Hindi lang puro land resources ang tawag nito, ang makukuha natin. So, para magkaroon tayo ng natural resources, including food, medicines, biofuels, and other products, we have to help with the breakdown and removal of waste and pollution. And also yung coastal ecosystems na nag-act as buffer na magre-reduce ng damage doon sa storms. Mhm. Isipin nyo, 'di ba, parang katawan natin na 70% is water sa earth. So, yung ocean, isa siya sa life support natin and nagre-regulate ng global climate system. And ang ocean, it is the largest ecosystem na bahay ng maraming species. So, kung papabayaan natin, anong makukuha nating marine resources, right? Okay, next we have the life on land. So, life on land. Life of land is um, reversing man-made deforestation and desertification to sustain all life on Earth. Meron kasing mga man-made na, ang tawag nito, man-made forest na hindi naman talaga accommodate ng pamumuhay ng mga animals inland. So, ang goal 15 is about conserving life on land. So, kailangan nating i-protect, i-restore yung terrestrial ecosystems, masustain or ma-manage yung forest, malabanan natin yung desertification. Ano nga ba ang desertification?